Welcome back to another weekly episode. So I'll keep this episode short. It's a Sunday, I understand, and the budget is over. So I'll just highlight some quick important points with respect to the market. I won't repeat what has happened in the budget because I know by now you must have gone through a lot of videos, a lot of content. And as such, in one line, if I have to describe the budget, it was an amazing budget. And you have to combine the budget that was announced in June, July 2024 with what was announced yesterday. Because only then you will understand that it was both a growth oriented budget, plus it was a budget meant for job creation, and finally it was a budget that gave massive amount of relief to the middle class who are extremely vital to the functioning of the economy. All right, let's move forward. So in case you don't follow me yet on Insta, do so because sometimes I post some important midweek market related updates. The code for my profile will be mentioned throughout the video. So first I'll begin with Nifty 50. What has happened in the last 1 week is a retracement on the upside where large caps have actually outperformed the broader market. How can you measure that? Because if you look at the price action here and you look at the relative strength with respect to Nifty 500, even when the prices were falling here, RS was rising, which means a smaller basket of Nifty 50 100 stocks was actually outperforming the broader market. Remember the conditions that we discussed for small, mid, micro cap outperformance to return. That is in the previous video. Go through it if you haven't watched that. You'll get a better understanding of when those sectors or pockets of market can again start performing well. So a couple of weeks back, we also discussed that between 2011 and 2013, I'll just take you back to this particular period. In this period, given the global conditions that were there, given that our economy was slowing down, we were seeing a similar kind of macro environment. Of course, our forex reserves were just not there back then. Today, we have really strong forex reserves. So it's not point to point a replica, but I hope you understand. During this phase, I had discussed that there were 5 pockets of market that started doing well. It was FMCG, consumption, IT, pharma and healthcare, and a bit of auto also. If you look at what has happened today in the budget, as the Honorable Finance Minister has announced more money in the hands of middle class. Remember, what has happened today is important because all over the world you are seeing governments giving money in the hand of people in the name of freebies, and that actually leads to a lot of inflation over time. Whereas what has happened today is very different. Yes, money is being given back in the hands of people in terms of lower taxes, and this actually doesn't lead to a lot of inflation. What actually happens is over time, the economy starts doing well in terms of consumption returning back to the economic framework. That is how I would like to put it. So if you look at which sectors did well today, it was FMCG. Look at the candle. I'll come to this in a bit. Consumption, consumer durable. In this entire corrective price action that we have seen since the month of October, in the last 4-5 months, if I tell you which pockets have fallen the least, it's been Nifty IT, digital, consumer durables, consumption, and healthcare. In low beta defensive sector, this pocket is clearly outperforming in terms of falling less. In high beta, which is the main sector that is trying to hold up, it is actually the financial services sector. It's not the banks, it is actually the financial services. And if you look at the relative strength is going from strength to strength. Now, this does not mean that outperformance is guaranteed in the future. This does not mean a massive rally is coming in the financial sector. See, relative strength has to be backed by price. So I would want that price over time would take out this particular congestion zone. Else, what can happen if the markets keep correcting? The financial sector, because it is outperforming, first it will fall less. All right. If it fall less over a period of time, then it can move up here and then again come down here. Meanwhile, relative strength line can follow the same trajectory. As market corrects, financial service RS can move up, then it can just gradually move lower and then again move higher when this bout of correction plays out. So RS alone is not helpful. RS has to be backed by price. So now coming to the point, is pharma, healthcare, IT, FMCG and consumption the pocket where you have to bet? See, the thing is, on days like budget, when there is a lot of noise around FMCG and consumption sector, I'll just open up the chart of FMCG. a lot of people start buying. If you look at this particular sector, and I'm just taking an example of FMCG back in 2011, 2013, in 2010, this is February 2011. Can you see this candle? It's actually a coincidence that back then the budget used to, take place on, I think, 28th or 27th Feb, and after that you've seen this candle getting printed. It's very similar to what we are doing today. It's very similar because back then we were just below 50 and 200 DMA. Look at today, we are just below 50 and 200 DMA. People who say technicals and charts don't repeat, just look at this. This is an amazing fractal that has developed. Same kind of candle. Can you see this? Same kind of 3-4 candles, and look at what is playing out today. Same set of 2-3 candles. So what had happened back then when FMCG consumption, pharma, IT, they were emerging as pockets where investors could put in money. It was not that it was a smooth ride on the upside. You'll obviously have a lot of up and down movement, and then over time this sector actually did well. It's the same for pharma. It's not that the leadership emerges together. You look at something like pharma. Pharma actually struggled between 2011 and 2012. It is only in the mid part of 2012 that it started rising. If you look at something like Nifty IT, again the same period, 2011, 2013, IT struggled a great deal between 2011 and 2013. It is only in the mid part of 2013 that it started moving up. So it is not that the basket of leadership between IT, pharma, FMCG consumption is going to play out in a straight line. Which brings me to the important point. I'll also open up the chart of consumption and show you the same. Look at what happened in consumption. It started moving up, but look at this volatile movement. You know why this movement exists? There is this kind of volatile movement. It is because of the global macro. And irrespective of what has happened today in terms of a good budget, it does not change the fact that majority of sectors in the market is still in a lower high, lower low structure. Majority of sectors in the market, I'll just flip through charts, just look at the price damage. Most of the indices are actually below 250 DMA. You cannot get aggressive here. Look at small cap 100, small cap 250, mid cap, small cap 400. This is all a lower high, lower low structure with a worsening relative strength, sustaining below 50 and 200 day moving average. So this kind of broader market structure will also bring in a lot of volatility in the FMCG, consumption, IT, pharma and healthcare space. Are you getting? And what is the global macro kind of backdrop? That also you have to understand. I'll first open up the chart of dollar index, and I'll take you between the phase of 2011 and 2013. Between 2011 and 2013, where you saw dollar index breaking out, very similar to what happened in October 24. That is after President Trump, won the election again. Dollar index moved up about 14-15%, and a lot of emerging markets started struggling. But because there were frequent pullbacks in dollar index, in this duration, you were seeing a lot of high beta sectors also moving up. If the same duration you map out for something like Nifty Bank, you look at how many times you've had a V-shaped recovery, then a fall, a V-shaped recovery, then a fall, again a V-shaped recovery and a fall. Overall, Nifty Bank over the period of 2 or 3 years did not deliver much returns. Rather, it was flat, but look at the swings. So the money kept shifting between high beta and low beta. So it is not that, I'm sure you might be hearing FMCG is the next big bet or consumption is the next big bet or pharma, healthcare, IT. It's not going to be linear. That is why you will have to plan how you would approach this space. And that is what I'll discuss in the next section. See, between the period of 2011 and 2014, 2013, Indian VIX was really volatile. This is the chart of India VIX between 2011 and 2014 December. And you were seeing these phases where volatility would rise and then suddenly, volatility would crash, and meanwhile some pockets of the market started doing well. So every time that India VIX moved lower, there were pockets that were showing tremendous amount of strength. Until in 2013 August, when India VIX peaked somewhere around 35, 36, came and tested this particular level, and this is where the bottom got formed in the market. And then of course next year NDA government came and the bull market again begin. But between 2011 and 2013, there were tremendous amount of trading opportunities on both sides. And I think that is what is going to happen. Whenever in market you experience a phase where trading opportunity exists on both sides, that is long and short, you will see pharma, FMCG, IT, digital consumption basket doing well over a period of time. And in between, high beta will give you fantastic trading opportunities. Whenever you see high beta doing well, you will always see that volatility will remain in a tight range and you won't see these frequent spikes. So one of the biggest hints that market gives you whenever the volatility starts moving up, that particular hint always tells you that defensive pockets in the market are the pockets that will do well over a period of time. This over a period of time is important because many a times when you see such candles developing on the chart like we had on FMCG index today, I've marked this as 1st Feb because this is where the budget was announced. And just to show you the fractal, last time when FMCG printed such a candle, same kind of macro setup, it was 28th Feb 2011, where I think Pranab Mukherjee had presented the budget. So whenever you see such candles forming, a lot of people start rushing in. Whereas such structures are excellent structures for doing a systematic plan for the next 12 to 18 months. So if you're not a great stock picker, these days SEBI, NSE have made things so easy for you. FMCG, pharma, healthcare, IT, digital, financial sector, any sector that you're interested in now has a ETF. You don't have to pick a stock just in case you don't know how to do it. You can just do ETFs, but track these sectors closely. Just because a sector moves above 200 or 50 DMA today does not mean tomorrow that move is going to be over. It is going to last for at least 8 to 24 months if the trend is true. The benefit of systematic allocations is that, let's say you, as an example, allocate money in FMCG here, and after a couple of months, you are sipping it on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, and after 4-5 months something happens and this low gets broken. The benefit of SIP is that your loss will be curtailed because you are slowly investing or maybe long term trading in a particular sector. So even in FMCG, pharma or healthcare or IT or consumption, whichever basket you choose, you have to be careful that we are in a period where there are going to be instances where volatility will spike, dollar index will rise, and emerging markets can also pose a lot of problems. See, I will again reiterate this point that India is not alone in what is currently happening in the world. It's very easy for us to say that we have domestic issues because that is the point you're hearing these days, on television, print media, social media, that we have created domestic issues, and unless and until we solve it, our markets won't rally. See, partly this is true, but if you look at the data, the following chart is of emerging market basket. It's corrected almost 15-16%. Now it has retraced back, had a poor retracement, and is stalling at 50 DMA. With comparison to Nifty 500, that has not even retraced to 50 DMA. So India is currently weaker than emerging market. And it is natural. It is natural because over the last 3-4 years, India has performed amazingly well. Nifty 500 COVID lows was 6,000, today it is at 22,000. This is a broader market index. You cannot have these returns again and again. So markets will have to go through a tight consolidation time price correction for a period of 12 to 18 months. These days cycles are much shorter. So we have already started correcting since the month of September. We have spent almost 5 odd months correcting time wise and price wise. I think we can repeat this again for the next 6-7 months. So around September, October 2025, you'll probably see the market at the same level where it was somewhere here. That is the kind of market we are in. And this type of market is never great to bet your chips all at once. And this remark I'm making mostly for top-down traders and investors. What is top-down investing trading? People who first look at sectors and then decide whether they want to invest or not. With respect to 2025, I've already given you my view that this is a bottom-up year. So even if you're interested in FMCG, look at how many companies are there in FMCG sector. Look at companies that have clear trending relative strength, clear trending price. That is your stock. And create a basket. Create a basket of FMCG, consumption, IT, digital, In high beta, you can have which sectors are doing well. Currently, financial services doing well. A couple of banks are in that particular sector. So that kind of basket investing and trading, that is what I think will work in 2025. Just because you've had a good budget does not mean things are going to turn around tomorrow. We are in an environment where our breadth is exceptionally poor. We are in an environment where consistently we are seeing lower high, lower low structure. We are in an environment where the ease of movement on the upside is still limited. And at every minor negative news, you're seeing stocks being punished 5, 10, 15% if they even miss some minor guidance in terms of results. Whenever you have such an environment, you must always space out your bets. So if you want to invest, let's say, couple of lakhs in some sector, space it out over the next 12 months. You'll get a better average price. The volatility won't shake you out, and you can consistently review every month, every quarter, and take an informed decision about your investments or trades. That is the message that I wanted to give. So I'll see you again next week. Take care, be safe, have a great weekend.